Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2026 Honda CRV. This is the all-wheel drive Trailsport. Huge shout out to Flo Honda Statesville for providing this SUV for me today. Take a look at their website. That link is down in the description. This CRV is finished off in River Canyon Blue. MSRP is just over $40,000. This is powered by the 2-liter inline 4-cylinder hybrid. It's paired to the CVT transmission, and it pumps out 204 horsepower, 247 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the all-wheel drive system, propelling this nearly 4,000-pound SUV from 0 to 60 in 7.6 seconds. It has a top speed of 111 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 14 gallons, and you'll expect to see 38 miles per gallon in the city and 33 out on the highway. Now, this also has a wheelbase of 106.3 inches. Its overall length is 184.8. It has a width of 73.5, a height of 66.5, and its ground clearance measures in at 8.2 inches. Now, as we move on to the exterior styling, for the Trailsport model, you will notice all of the orange accents and badging. It is mainly a cosmetic package. However, there is a little bit more of a grippy all-terrain tire, and you do get some better ground clearance for this model. So up front, the Honda badge is also the sensor for distance pacing. You'll notice gloss black for the rest of the grille. There's also some gloss black accents in the lower section, as well as more cutouts to provide cooling and even active grille shutters. So the back section there will open and close depending on the cooling that is needed. You'll notice too the dark housing for all of the LEDs, which have part of that upper grille trim accent integrated into them to make them much better of a design. And then there's some brushed accents for the lower section and a few lines that come down the hood. Now, as we work our way to the side, you'll notice the dark gray wheels, which are 18s, and then you have that all-terrain tire. Now, there's also some plastic for the fender arches. It's on the lower side skirt too. You do get a small mud flap for both front and rear. And then there's also gloss black for the mirrors, which have a turn signal. It's on the window trim, the roof racks, and the sunroof is up top there. Now, as we take a step back, you'll notice there's some very crisp lines just above the gloss black door handles to give it a great integration. And then in back, there's the two-tone design for the spoiler, along with the third brake light. There's the wiper blade, LEDs for all of the lighting. You get a backup camera and then some more brushed accents down below. Now, this is capable of towing right around 1,000 pounds or so. You probably won't be using it for any items, but you could maybe put a bike rack or at least something on the back to give you a little bit more practicality. Now, this also has the ability to be remote started, so you can lock it, use this control here to turn it on and shut it off. And you can also use the key fob or the release underneath to gain access to your cargo space. So it is a power operating lift gate where you have a good bit of space. You'll also notice we installed this all-weather floor mat to give you better protection, especially if you are taking this on some adventures. You do get a little bit of storage with a 12-volt. You have some cargo lights too, and there's the cover that you can install and use as needed. And then underneath the floor, you have some of the hybrid components, so there's no added storage, but you can fold the back seats down to get even more rear storage. And then there's one button up top to close that lift gate. Now, as we work our way to the interior, door panel has a nice design to it. You'll notice some of the trim accents, your window control, some soft touch materials with the orange stitching, and then storage in the lower section. And then this model does have cloth seats. Hopefully you can tell they are pretty much reclined all of the way right now. So you do have that option. And then you can pull on this tab to fold the seats down. You have a little bit of a bump here, but you have a large opening to fit in items. And then as you can see, this is pretty much all the way up. And then you can recline them from there. At 5'10", I have a lot of space. You'll notice there's vents, auxiliaries, you have a storage pocket, really no bump in the middle, so it gives you almost a nice flat surface. And then with the seat all the way back, I still have a good bit of headroom, but for this smaller size SUV, I can lounge out, go for a long trip in the back here, which is fantastic to see. Now you have some cup holder storage with the armrest there, and then there's the large cargo windows there to make it much easier to see around that pillar. Now up front, there's all of the window controls, side mirror adjustments, lock and unlock, and then a lot more storage down below. And then more orange stitching for the seats. You'll notice Trailsport in the headrest there, and a nice design running down the insert. They're also power operating as well. And then we have more of the all-weather floor mats. Hey everyone, so today's video is brought to you by Last Fit. For this Honda behind us, we will be installing a set of all-weather floor mats from Last Fit. You can use the link down in the description below, use the promo code so you can save on your own set for your specific Honda vehicle. Now, even with this particular Honda model, it does come with all-weather floor mats, but the Last Fit liners are laser measured to give you much more coverage than what the factory provides you. Even with the factory carpeting, these all-weather floor mats have a nice durable material that's going to make them much easier to clean and keep dry compared to the factory carpeting. These floor mats also have a larger lip, so that way less debris is going to get up underneath them, keeping your vehicle better protected. Now you can get fronts, rears, and even the cargo mat too. So if you're loading in items, especially with a Trailsport model like this, that is going to better protect your rear cargo space as well. So take a look at the link down in the description, get a full set of liners for your particular vehicle, and keep it cleaner on a daily basis. And then coming back to the interior, we have more orange stitching with the leather steering wheel, but we can start this up where this model also has paddle shifters. It is a heated steering wheel too. You have tuning and volume along with voice commands, and then you also have all of the cruise control settings with your distance pacing and lane keeping assist. Now you have two rotary dials that you can use to control the digital gauge cluster. So with the one on the left, we can go through audio adjustments, you can look at Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You even can customize what you would like to see. So you can hide and show all of these just by checking or unchecking them, just to clean up the list and have all the information that you would like to see. Now on the right side, we can go through some more of the car vitals. You have your MPG, your driver safety, where the power is being sent, some of the vitals here, and you even have some ways that you can customize and get into the vehicle settings. So you can go through even more information here depending on how you want everything set up and what you would like to look at. And then the last one here is the gauge customization. So you can actually go into that design and change it depending on how you want to view the information. So it's a really easy system to go through, and then you have battery and fuel on the left and the right. Now there's also the liftgate release, there's one air vent, and then working your way to the infotainment system, you have a few physical buttons on this left side. You have a split view here for your home screen. You can get to connect, so you can pair your phone and some of that information. And then you just have shortcuts here to get into some general info. You can get into your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and your phone. So it's pretty simple, but effective. There's this trim accent that goes all the way to the passenger side. And then you have fan speed, temperature, where you'd like the air to go. Even the defroster for the side mirrors, which is nice. You get heated seats, auxiliaries, wireless charging. And then when we put this into reverse, you get a backup camera with a few different angles. So depending on where you need to see. You also have drive and B. B is going to be your regen braking, which I will go over once we get this out on the road. And there's also a few different driving modes that you can go through depending on the throttle response and how you need that power distributed between the all-wheel drive system. You get a downhill assist, auto hold in the e-brake, cup holders and storage, plenty of storage in the armrest. You have a locking glove box, and then there's the rear view mirror. You get a sunglass holder, there's dome lights, and then controls for the sunroof. Sunshade is manually adjusting. And then here's a look at visibility. You have a lot of glass. So it's a small SUV and it's easy to see. As we set up behind the wheel now for the CRV, if you are new to our channel, at some point in some of our personal vehicle review videos, I mentioned the fact that my wife owned a CRV. We got rid of that a few years ago. It had over 100,000 miles on it and not a single issue. It was a vehicle that she drove for 12 years and had no complaints with. Now, obviously a lot older than the model that we're in right now, but just from an ownership experience with a previous CRV, she loved it. It was her daily driver and it did everything needed for having a smaller size SUV like this. So this is a practical vehicle that you can daily drive. It offers a lot of space. And especially with this hybrid model here, this is going to get really good MPG. So if you're looking for an SUV that can pretty much do it all, it's not large, it's not going to be meant for towing or anything, but it's definitely going to give you a vehicle that is very versatile for the day-to-day. Now, with this particular model as well, being the Trailsport, it doesn't really have too many off-roading goodies. I would say it is a little bit more of a cosmetic package, but you do have a little bit grippier of an all-terrain tire and that all-wheel drive system. So if you need to go off the pavement, some gravel, some loose dirt, something like that, not really any moguls or anything hardcore, But if you want to take this camping, you want to go hiking, you want to get off the pavement, you have some settings here with the all-wheel drive system to help modulate that throttle. You have a downhill assist just to help aid as well. So while it's not the most off-road focused, it does have some of those capabilities to get you through some of the looser terrain situations. But as far as driving this, much newer than her vehicle, of course. It drives very smooth. It's pretty quiet too. And at 5'10", currently I have about 2 inches or so of headroom. But look at this. With the height adjustable seat, you can be taller than me and still fit comfortably. You could even sit in the back seats too. I love how far the back seats recline to make it more comfortable for your back seat passengers. Now with the different driving modes too, we can put it into sport mode, and you can also put it into the B setting. With the B setting, that allows you to use the paddle shifters here. You are not going to be using the paddle shifters for changing gears. You are going to be using them to change the regen braking system. So with it in the highest setting here, when I let off the accelerator, the vehicle is just going to coast like normal. If I start pushing on the negative paddle, so on the left, the vehicle is going to start slowing down. It's not going to come to a complete stop, but you can, well, maybe. It's going to go about 10 miles an hour there, so obviously you have to brake from there. But this is going to allow you to use a little bit of the regen braking to charge the battery. It's not a plug-in hybrid. That allows you to charge it and to be able to use the EV at slower speeds. So parking lot situations, I'm going 10 miles an hour right now. We're still at EV ready, but as I accelerate to 15 miles an hour, the EV will go away. So it's in the background, but you do have a speed limit for using EV by itself. And then with the regen braking too, you basically have one pedal driving, but you have to use the brake pedal, of course, as needed. So really neat technology to see. It makes it a lot less complicated than having a plug-in hybrid, which I have actually owned as well in the past. And I think the hybrid system like this is just so much easier to let the vehicle have that go on in the background. And then with it in sport mode, here we go. Just a minor acceleration, but this has plenty of power to get up and merge, things like that. And then with the different driving modes as well, it is going to modulate your throttle response, and then you have a snow mode too, which will also modulate the all-wheel drive system. Now, surprisingly for the Trailsport, there's really no off-road setting to put this into. I guess you might be able to use snow mode just to get a little bit more traction, but it is interesting to see no actual off-road mode. But aside from that, we have a very nice interior. There is some plastic. It's kind of what you would expect to see at vehicles of this price point, so that's not a surprise there. But the rest of it is laid out well. If you're looking for a simple vehicle that gives you all of the necessary tech features, it's a great option to go with. So nothing's overcomplicated. Even the infotainment system, really just pairing your phone to that system is all you need. With Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, everything's going right off your phone. You are good to go after that. And then all the controls are simple and laid out well. So it's a really nice vehicle in terms of what you get for the simplicity of it. And it's a vehicle that you can rack the miles up and drive every single day. So if you're looking for a commuter, something you're really driving on a day-to-day basis and probably quite long, it's a great option to go with. Very quiet too, easy to see all around, so you have great visibility, thin pillars here too, and just a comfortable vehicle. But that is going to wrap it up for the 2026 Honda CR-V Trailsport. Once again, huge shout out to Flo Honda Statesville for providing this for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads, and I will see you all in the next video.